Hey everybody, it's GauntletX and welcome to the Modern Horizons 3 Arena Direct. This is going to be a best of one Modern Horizons sealed event. We are attempting to get at least 6 wins before only 2 losses in best of one. So very high variance event, but very high reward. It's our opportunity to win some physical Magic the Gathering cards by playing digital Magic on Arena. This time around winning up to 2 Japanese Modern Horizons 3 play booster boxes, or I guess I should say up to quantity Japanese Modern Horizons 3 play booster boxes. Some nice text there on the reward tracker. Anyways, let's just get into it. That whole spiel out of the way. It is Arena Direct season. As always, we're going to play until we win at least one box here. So let's just bust open these packs, hoping that we open something great and maybe get the box out of the way immediately. We have opened some pretty good rares here, and they are mostly in red, which is pretty nice. We're almost definitely playing red. We have Lelia and Detective's Phoenix being great hasty threats. The Harrogast being a solid card at the top of the mana curve because you can emerge it out rather than hard casting it for 9. So sacrifice one of your smaller creatures to cast this for only like 6 or 7 mana instead of 9, so that you can get it out and you can get that draw 3 going. So that seems pretty decent. There's also Springheart Nantuko as my other favorite rare in this pack. This spits out a Saproling every time you play a land. I guess an insect, not a Saproling, but a 1/1 green creature token. Or if you bestow it onto something and you play a land and you spend 1 in a green, then you get a copy of whatever you bestowed it onto. So you could get like multiple copies of, not Lelia, because Lelia is a legendary creature, but multiple like Detectives, Phoenixes or something, and just be jamming in the sky. So very powerful card there as well. And then we have some decent 3-color spells. The biggest flaw of these cards is just that they're 3-color, so they're not the most likely to get played. We'd have to have pretty good mana fixing in the color pairs, and those would have to be multiple of our strongest colors. But these monocolored rares are pretty dang good. And they are also in Writhing Chrysalis colors, which is stronger than most of the rares and mythics in the entire set. And it's a common, so it is going to be very, very frequently seen in these sealed events. Sadly, we lost the Writhing Chrysalis lottery today. 0 copies of Writhing Chrysalis opened. This would have been a really, really good sealed pool to open that in again, because multiple of our rares lining up in red and green, so that's a little sad. But again, I don't think we can complain too much, judging by the quality of those rares. There's also a lot of good fixing in the sets. Anything with red and green? No. No red-green Terramorphic either. That's also kind of awkward. We've got a bunch of decents, multicolored commons, double Watchdog, 1 Conduit Goblin, Cranial double Sneaky Snacker's cool, but I think it'd be pretty hard to end up in blue-black, judging by the power of our red rares. Alright. Let's just get looking through things color by color. Our white is abysmal. Not only is it very low on the quantity of spells here, but multiple of these are just unplayable. Double Charitable Levy just does not do anything. And then the Jolted Awake are also really inconsistent, not the greatest. So that leaves us with like 4 cards. 2 of which are like solid removal and 2 are just filler creatures. White is poop in this sealed pool. Blue is also very low on the quantity of spells. However, I will say I don't think any of our blue spells are that bad, and some of them are actually quite good. Serum Visionary, Royal Cartographer, and Brain Surge are all solid value draw spells. Either Spike's a fine counter spell, Harvester and Tune the Narrative are decent little value plays. Yeah, not a lot of cards here, but 7 perfectly solid blue spells. Black has a lot more spells than we've seen out of any other color so far, and the quality is decent as well. Mainly the removal that we gain access to. Breather Last and Double Wither and Bloom for any deck that's playing black, and then Consuming Corruption for a deck that has black as the primary color. Ideally, you want like 10 swamps plus. To make it actually really good, like 12 or 13 swamps would make it pretty incredible. The creatures here look perfectly fine, but there's nothing particularly exciting going on there. But some pretty good removal in the color makes it quite solid. Certainly the best color we've seen so far. Checking out the red now. We have some high quality cards here. So Ral is actually super mid in the first place and just really not good in a deck that doesn't run a lot of instants and sorceries. We have one on-color instant or sorcery out of red. So unless our other color has a bunch of those, Ral's not going to get played here, but Amped Raptor is one of the strongest uncommons in the whole set. Even without any other energy production, this is 2 mana, exile cards from the top until you hit a spell. If that spell costs 2 or less, then you spent 2 mana to get a 2/1 first strike and another 2-drop. So 2 mana for a 2/1 first strike and a 2/2, just like a Grizzly Bear, is a ridiculously good rate. So with just a little bit of energy alongside it, Amped Raptor becomes completely absurd. So that's really nice to see 2 of those alongside our great rares like Detectives, Phoenix, and Lelia. Scaring Precursor's fine. Highly doubt we get to play Mog Mob. I do not think we're going to be that deep into red. Fledgling Dragon Super Filler. Skyclaw's probably fine in a double Amped Raptor deck, as is the Inventor's Axe. These are much more filler than everything else we've looked at, but because of the synergy with one of the strongest cards in the deck being Amped Raptor, they do become decently playable. Skoa's fine, a little bit better in Sealed than Draft, because Sealed tends to play a little bit slower. Just get a creature and a removal spell off of the one spell in the late game. And then Ral in the Implicit Maze is pretty great if you're playing against anything aggressive. One-sided board wipe. And then draw a couple cards, make a Spellgorger weird. Very nice card. So yeah, red looks high quality here. And last but not least, a big chunk of green stuff. I do feel like just playing green-red here. I am definitely bummed we didn't open up any Writhing Chrysalis, because 1 or 2 copies of Writhing Chrysalis, and this would be like the dream sealed pool. I guess my biggest issue with green-red is that we don't have a ton of removal in it. We do have Bridgeworks Battle and Signature Slam, so we don't have 0 removal spells. Ral and the Implicit Maze and Skoa sort of work in that way as well, but we're certainly low on it. Our fixing is really non-existent in terms of lands and artifacts towards trying to splash in any Black Tad removal into the deck. We would be relying on our 1 copy of Nightshade Dryad and just playing a really bad mana base of like 6 forests, 6 mountains, and then like 5 swamps or something like that. Like it'd be pretty rough to splash in this sealed pool from what we've seen. I mean, I can double check. Some of the multicolored cards are dual lands in the set. Any of the flip multicolored spells. So we have a black-white dual land. And that's it. We have a black-white dual land. Black-white fetch. I guess there's a red-black fetch. And a green-black fetch. So that's not nothing. That's a tiny bit of fixing. That'll get one of our main colors or the splash for removal. Are there any multicolored spells that really help us at all? Injund in red, green, black? Not really. We're not going to splash in Ram or Expanding Ooze. It would just be the splash for removal. Which again, the fixing is not the greatest for. It's not the easiest to justify that. I think I'm just going to build the green-red deck. We'll see how it looks. If it looks terrible without extra removal, then we'll try to splash it in, but obviously with the fixing not being that great, I would prefer not to. Alright, so I've whittled it down to this. Take a little quick peek at everything that we've cut in a second. But this way, we have just 2 colors, so we're about as streamlined as our mana base can be here. We have all the strongest green and red spells. We have a bit of a lower curve here, running all of our solid 2-drops, and the reason is we really don't have much energy production for these Amped Raptors, so in order for them to potentially get that value and pop off, we do need to hit a 2-mana or less spell with them. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 potential hits for the Amped Raptors. When they don't hit, then it is just going to be 2 mana, 2/1 first strike. But when that is the worst case scenario, it's not completely horrific. And when you do hit the best case scenario, it's still going to be absolutely absurd. So I'm definitely still running the Amped Raptors, even though we really didn't have any other energy stuff to go with them. There's some other adjustments I could make, like cutting the Thriving Skyclaw, because honestly, the only reason it's really in here is maybe I draw it before an Amped Raptor, and then that Amped Raptor gets a lot better. But anyways, that's why we're going really low on the curve and playing a bunch of 2-drops. It also makes our 3-mana hasty rares a lot stronger, Detective's Phoenix and Lelia. That way we can just like curve out into some aggro victories with this deck, but we also have some good late game plays. We have a little bit of ramp with Nightshade Dryad and some random spawn tokens off of cards like Malevolent Rumble, Basking Broodscale, Eldrazi Repurposer, and such. And with that little bit of ramp, we can get to our top-end finishers a little more often as well, like Tusker and Althasar and Skoa Ember Mage. So the cuts that I went for here, because we went a little lower curve and a little more aggressive, don't think Harrogast is going to be particularly great in this deck. It's still definitely an option, but I do think everything that is still in the deck is still quite good outside of maybe like Skyclaw here. So we've got enough powerful spells that these last kind of additions to the deck are quite close in power level. Like something like one of these for Harrogast would be an option. The other cards that we're not playing on color, Priest of Titania, we don't have that much to ramp into, so I left it to just all of the Eldrazi spawn, which we have a lot of, as well as the Nightshade Dryad that is ramp and fixing. The Priest not being able to fix into red is definitely a lot worse than the Nightshade Dryad. And again, looking at the mana curve, it's just like the 3 cards that cost more than 5 mana. It's just Ember Mage, Althasar, and Tusker, so there's not too much to ramp into, so not super excited about the Priest. Hydro Trainer's just a bad card. Wirewood Symbiote, just a bad card in Sealed. Fledgling Dragon, really, really slow for the cost. Mob's almost uncastable. Ral, we don't have enough instant sorceries to do anything with. And Inventor's Axe would really only be in here for the Amped Raptors. Outside of that, it's a very mediocre combat trick, so I don't want to run it just for the 2 copies of Raptor. So that's everything that we're not playing on color, and that basically explains how I've cut it down here. Again, the last addition to the deck is debatable. Maybe the Harrogast is going to be better than I'm giving it credit for, and we should cut the Skyclaw for it or something here. But I do think that the hard cast mana cost is very, very, very high, so we basically have to emerge it, and we don't have a lot of super, like, expendable things to emerge for it. I'm just not that pumped about it. I think I'm just going to run the deck like this. Now, the other option, of course, running the Shattered Landscape, running the Foreboding Landscapes. There's actually 3 pieces of fixing, so there's 2 Foreboding Landscapes. But running all 3 of those and then shoving in a couple Withering Blooms to give us a little bit of removal. Be pretty hard to splash in the double black removal spells, but we could put the Withering Blooms in here. And if we splashed toward the Wither and Blooms, that would also give us 2 more 2-mana spells we might be able to hit off of Amped Raptor. It would give us main deck colorless sources to make like Thief of Existence potentially more consistent. Although, I don't really like Thief of Existence too much in Sealed. 3 mana, 3/4, you exile one of their cards till it dies, but then when it dies, they draw a card. So they just get the full value back, and often if you're casting this turn 3 and exiling their 2 or 3 drop, that card in the late game could potentially be better than whatever you exiled. Yeah, I'm not super pumped about it. Very, very inconsistent to be casting a colorless spell. A card that requires specifically colorless mana, I should say. But we could throw it in maybe if we go for the splash, because then we are running some random colorless sources too. Alright, I changed my mind. I decided that the Thriving thing and the 3/3 Menace were filler enough that we could just cut those 2 for Wither and Blooms pretty easily. Mana base will be a little less consistent, but thanks to double green Flipland, with all of these landscapes, we actually get to run 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 green sources, 8 red sources, and 4 black sources off the splash. So the mana base is actually, by numbers, not horrific here. To just run the splash and up the card quality overall, running a couple Wither and Bloom instead of the like slow 4 mana 4/3 flyer, 3 mana 3/3 menace with no relevant ability. So that's what I'm going to do here, and that also cuts a 4 and a 3 for 2 more 2s to make the Amped Raptors more likely to hit. So we will go for the little Wither and Bloom Splash here, but that final adjustment out of the way, we'll call it a deck there, hop into the gameplay, and see how far this can take us. All right, here we are on the play for game number 1. Excellent opening hand. Keep that and curve the Lelia out here. Late game Evolution Witness to pick up our best card from Grave. Probably Lelia. We could Rumble on 2 instead of Propagator Drone on 2. That would make it so later on turn 4 when we do cast the Propagator Drone, we would get a counter onto that initial spawn token. It's a little weird that it works that way, but I have seen it happen where there's a spawn on board, then a drone is cast. That spawn that's already on the board will get the buff. Yeah, this is a little weird. I'll hit for a little bit less if they don't play a creature here, but could be worth it. Get a Tusker for later or get a land. We're on 4 mana in the hand, which is enough for everything currently in hand. I think I get the Tusker for later. Worst case scenario, it has a backup cycling ability. They had a green, blue, red land. There's a blue, red, white. So they're probably green, blue, and red. There's Basking Brood Scale from them. Whenever one or more cards are put into exile, you get the counter on Lelia. So Lelia will be attacking here as a 3/3 and can attack into the Brood Scale. So we'll drop that down. Lelia is going to be exiling the top card forever, but it's basically a mill one, get a +1/+1 counter. Ooh, Millar Detective's Phoenix. A little sad, but it was just as likely to be the bottom card of the library that we would have never drawn anyway. It happens. Another green-red here. Every single Evolving Wilds they've played has aligned to the trio of green, blue, and red, so I feel like that is the most likely, but they could really be splashing here. They could also be running some powerful spells that require specifically colorless to get them to play extra landscapes. So they adapt the Brood Scale here, main phase. To jam for more damage, we go down to 17. So here I have the option of Propagator Droning pre-combat to attack with a 1/2 spawn as well as Lelia, but I think it's better to just have all of our mana untapped in case Lelia does hit our 4 mana creature or something like that. So let's just jam. Don't play the land either, because Lelia can play lands. She gets to play cards off the top, not cast cards off the top. So that does include lands. Some cards like this specifically let you cast them, in which case lands will never do anything off of those cards. Bridgeworks Battle. I can play it as land for turn, or I can kill their 3/3. I've got a 6 and a 7 in hand. I think it'd be more valuable to just play it as a land than blow up a single 3/3 here. I don't need 4 mana for anything, so we have the center tapped. Play Propagator Drone for the turn. Evolve our spawn. Weird little rules interaction. But you do get the evolve on all of your spawn the turn you play the drone. There's their slice for the Laelia. We have no response to that, so Laelia's dead, but we have the mana to put Laelia back in our hand next turn while they're tapped out. And we'd like to do it that way, because if they respond to our adaptability by blowing up the Witness, we will not be able to bring anything back from grave. So we want to just hard cast that and adapt it main phase before they have their mana untapped. In this deck, I really don't care about Propagator Drone too much. Although, if I wait a turn at least, then our spawn token will be a 2/3, because we're going to play a 2-power creature that would evolve our 1-power spawn. But if I do the double block here, they kill the Propagator Drone, and then the spawn's still at 1/2 when I play Witness. Play a tap land over there, green-red duel. Certainly got much better fixing over there. But we got plenty of powerful stuff to do here. We are going to pre-combat our Evolving Witness. So that I jam 4. Then I'll have the 4/3 blocker up for the 3/3 Brood Scale. So we are fine to attack all. They take the 4, go to 9, and we pick up the Laelia before they have the untapped mana to blow up Witness. And pass the turn. Molten Gatekeeper. 2/3, that'll ping us a little bit. Pass through and hold up blocks. So Laelia pretty much guaranteed not to be surviving a swing here, which makes me feel like land Ember Mage is the right play. We can land Ember Mage away the 3/3. They only have a 2/3 in terms of blockers that threaten to kill anything. We can attack then in with a 3/4 spawn and a 4/3 Witness. Broodscale has no graveyard ability. Any reason to play Disciple over Ember Mage? Gain extra Oxford's power? Not really. I mean, I could sack Witness here, but I think it's better to pressure them. They're down at 9, we'll be attacking for 7, forcing some chumps. Yeah, worth it. They crack their tap land for black. But again, it comes in tapped, so won't impact this turn. They'll take the 3, chump the 4. And we pass back to them. They've got a Bloodstained Mire too. All of their luck got spent on fixing, apparently. Good grief. Back that Bloodstained Mire, they're now down to 5 life. Last turn with all their mana untapped. Don't enjoy that. Be like instant speed removal. There's no instant speed board wipe as far as I remember. Is this Lelia and swing? For as many attacking creatures as possible here. Send in the drone as well at that point. Should be 5 attackers against 1 blocker. Block there, plus instant speed removal that. Is still 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's lethal unless they double removal here. If they do, I still have a Warped Tusker later. Feel like this is Lelia's swing. We could also play it more defensively and safely and don't attack with drone and then just play a 6-8. But I really think we just push this here. Any 4 mana instants? I do not have any 4 mana instants, so I don't need to play this land for Lelia. But I guess I have Propagator Drone's ability. Say Lelia hits a land here, then it's like Cycle Tusker, just activate Propagator Drone once. Yeah, maybe I should have played the land. GG from opponent. We've got to breathe your last. We've got a block. And that is game, okay. That is 1-0 heading into game number 2. Alright, here we are on the play for round number 2. Right, well, that is always quite lucky to see that happen during an event like an Arena Direct, but our opponent just did not join the game, some kind of internet issue, or something came up or something, and we just get a free win on that one. That is 2-0 heading into game number 3. Only 1 win away from getting at least some of our entry feedback here, and no matter what, at least a 50-50 record. Alright, here we are on the play for game number 3. We have some high mana value stuff, obviously having a 7-drop in the opening hand, as well as basically a 5 mana Evolution Witness here, and only 2 lands in the opener, but Malevolent Rumble does a lot of work. It almost 100% guarantees that you draw a land off of it, and it gives us a spawn token to play an Altisar off of just 6 lands instead of 7. So we can use the Rumble on turn 2 to lock in our 3rd land to go Lelia on 3, and then also be a lot closer to the Altisar. Hello to opponents. And that should be a great start for us. Probably playing this Disciple as the Garden of Freyalise as well for another land, based on having the Altisar as an excellent top-end card. Okay. Obviously I won't get any damage in with Lelia here, but it is still worth starting the +1/+1 counters off. So that next turn, if they don't kill it, it will attack as a 4/4 into their Sage. And I really don't mind milling that Wither and Bloom forever, because we do not have the Black Source yet. Serum Visionary is not a removal spell for Lelia, so we will get some value off for this turn, and there's very few cards in the deck that we wouldn't be able to cast now off Lelia. That's a 5 mana, being able to play an untapped land. We've also drawn both of our black spells already, so we won't be able to hit one of those. There's a Black Source even if we did. Yeah, it should be a great Lelia turn. Detective's Phoenix is the draw. So we'll obviously play that. A little bit awkward main phase too, but what are you gonna do? I'm gonna go Wither and Bloom here over the... Well, I'm gonna play an untapped Swamp to have a Wither and Bloom up here, over playing the Disciple here. Because sure, I could play it as a tap land now and not take the damage, but having that flexibility on Wither and Bloom does feel good. Honestly, wouldn't feel horrific. Well, if they didn't just play another Chumper, then I would say it wouldn't feel horrific to just blow up a Serum Visionary to get Lelia damage in over the Chump. So they're going to play a Skoa Ember Mage. They're going to play a 4/4. Still don't hate the Wither and Bloom here. Reduce them to just the one spawn as the Chumper. They need double red for the Skoa as well, and they would need the spawn, because this doesn't add mana for Skoa, so they need to go Mountain off the top plus crack the spawn. If I kill the Visionary... I guess the problem with killing Visionaries, I lose the spawn token, and Propagator Drone doesn't give the buff anymore. I could go Propagator Drone, untap land, Evolution Witness, and double buff instead. That actually feels very nice. Okay. So I don't need to Propagator Drone pre-combat still, because it'd be a 1/2 into a 2/2. So wait to see if Lelia hits a land. Lelia does, in fact, hit a land. Here's the spawn Chump. Okay, so they are not planning on Ember Maging next turn, so they do not have the red in hand. Obviously play the Exiled card, play the Propagator Drone. Play the Evolution Witness. Territory color, one big blocker. Or color, I should say, not color. And that draws them a card every time they play a land. If the top card of their library is a creature, there's the second red for them off the Perilous Landscape and a double trigger for territory color. So they will be playing the Skoa Ember Mage to blow somebody up next turn. That was a really good territory color. Hold up the Wither and Bloom so they block the Lelia and we blow it up. Blow up the territory color with Wither and Bloom. That would get it down to 4 power, which is not enough to kill Lelia as a 6/6. Unless they double block Lelia with Visionary and Kohler, which we don't have any way to play around. Yeah, let's jam Flyer and Lelia. If I jam Evo Witness and they block with Territory Color, I can pick up like a Tusker and Wither and Bloom, and then Witness and Color trade. Doesn't feel incredible. Considering if we have the Witness still around when Wither and Bloom is in grave, we can get double recursion off of it. Another land off Lelia. And we're working through the flood. Chump the Lelia, and that is the only play. Take the 2. Okay. Didn't even want to try to block the Phoenix. Fair enough. I did have a bajillion mana untapped. Alright, if I don't have to cast Wither and Bloom and don't hit a spell off Lelia, seems like a perfectly fine Alta-Sword turn. I mean, I do lose my spawn, which is a 2/3 by now. So I lose a genuine creature here. Not just a token, really. It's 2/3 stat line, it could get even bigger. I could Evo Witness back Repurposer. That'd be kind of insane with a propagator drone on board. Sure. I think I'm actually going to do that and keep this spawn token around. This makes this one a 3-4, and then the new spawn's a 1-2. We start going wide. Plus I could have Wither and Bloom up if I sack the 1-2. Pretty obvious Wither and Bloom, but what can you do? It's better than not holding it up. There's the Amber Mage. Get those spawn trumpers. Shoot the propagator drone here. There's nothing I can do about that. Fair enough. Amped Raptor. Got 5 2-drops in the deck and 5 non-2-drops in the deck, so I'm on a 50-50. Cast something with Raptor. It's probably better to just Altasaur. Okay, not if they open the door for Wither and Bloom. There's the concession from our opponent. That is going to be 3-0. We are guaranteed to have a winning record today, getting at least some of our prize out back, or some of our entry fee back in the form of prize out. Right, here's our first game on the draw. So we've had that advantage going for us every game up until now, which has been really nice. But now we are at disadvantage. Our opponent on the play here, turn 2 Brood Scale, great start. Even the Amped Raptor cannot block that well. Let's see, I think I still want to just Amped Raptor here. Get a little first striker, get the gamble going. Maybe another 2-drop. I'm not playing 4 mana worth of spells for the Nightshade Dryad next turn anyway. And I'd be a lot sadder if they threw a burn spell at Dryad than if they threw one at the Raptor. Ooh, let's go. We do hit a 2-drop. Again, we did about as much work as we possibly can in this sealed pool to put as many 2-drops in the deck as possible for the Raptor because of the lack of energy synergy. We rely on just hitting the right mana values off it. First striking 3-2 looks really nice on this board, and I don't mind clearing out the Menace. But also glimpsing to 3 spawn if they can't kill Propagator Drone could be sick as well. But I think I'm going to slow them down here and try to get on the aggressive. Put a +1/+1 counter on creature control, then each modified creature does damage to its power. If I make Propagator Drone a 3-3, I actually get to attack both here. Hit for 5. I don't have as exciting of a first striker, but it still does look good for just immediate damage. Boom. Okay, there is one Writhing Chrysalis, and the game has been completely stabilized in our opponent's favor. We have dodged Crystallize so far, so that's been another helpful bit of luck there. Yeah, I mean, this is just an absolute roadblock. 4-5 reach at the absolute worst with multiple chump blocks at the same time. So yeah, we're certainly not on the aggressive here. Just run out a Death Toucher to block the Chrysalis to keep it off of us. Just play full defense. Okay. This also sets up for Ember Mage next turn, which can't kill a Chrysalis, but we'll be able to clear somebody else out. It's also a 4-5 plus mana acceleration here, where they get their 4-5 reach, plus they could play like a 7-drop this turn if they want. And again, with any other spawn tokens, it's even bigger. Now it is up to a 5-6 whenever they want it to be, sacking at instant speed for free. I mean, what is our deck's answer to this? I mean, we're green, red, black. None of our colors have removal that can kill a super high toughness card. All of our removals damage based are -X/-X. So our one out here, the thing that we can play towards is hoping to hit like Springheart Nantuko. If we can Springheart Nantuko into making a bunch of copies of stuff, we can eventually outgrind them, probably. But that's kind of our one hope here. But until they clear out Nightshade Dryad, we should have time to chill here. We take this with a glimpse in the hand. It's not as good as it looks, because they can just sack the spawn and get counters on Chrysalis, and that's the only thing we're killing with it. So this just forces them to have a 6-7 Chrysalis and no spawn. Which is fine. Better to glimpse the impossible here. I mean, I've got 6 mana up. We could also just Ember Mage kill the 3-3. Or Ember Mage kill the Gatekeeper. Ember Mage does feel best for the turn. On this board state, though, it does give Chrysalis an attack. Because I'd tap out of the Dryad. Get Chrysalis hit, keep everybody else off us. You could chump with Ember Mage and Evo Witness it back to blow up another non-crystalline creature. No, exile it. So much for that. Alright, at this rate we hold up Dryad for Chrysalis, Witness for Drone. Just more removals, so they clear out the Death Touch. Malevolent Rumble. Just Witness while they're mostly tapped out here. They could have the 1 and a blue instant, that's the only card that could stop Evolution Witness here. Chump on Chrysalis with the Raptor. It has essentially 7 toughness here, so no reason to try to double block. Okay. 7, 6, and 2 more spawn for the Chrysalis, so it's essentially 8 power right now. Oh. Yeah, with a Gatekeeper and Grave, if they just unearth a Gatekeeper, play something that makes 1 spawn, like the 3 mana 3/3 that comes with a spawn, will just be dead, so I can't really afford to go to 2. Or I'm dead to the 3 mana 3/3 plus the spawn off of a Gatekeeper unearth. Dryad and Rumble or Dryad and Glimpse. Dryad and Rumble here. Some bad hits. I mean, hitting a Wither Bloom's kind of sick. There's that. Green, black, or red, black? How many basics do I got left? More mountains than forests, so we take the red one. Pick up Amped Raptor. Or Propagator Drone. Pick up Propagator Drone. Believe. Yeah, with Glimpse. But I have to set up the Chrysalis kill. So if we can kill Chrysalis with Nightshade Dryad, set up a double block on Drowner of Truth soon enough, a 5/4 Evolution Witness, and a 1/2 spawn after evolving. And if that doesn't work out, Drone can spit out a Chumper every single turn if Drone doesn't die. Okay, so they drew into some kind of spawn maker here if they're doing the Gatekeeper. Jesus. Just all removal. I mean, might have been able to grind this out a tiny bit longer somehow. They just had way too much removal in the end here. The triple removal to kill our Death Toucher thrice. I mean, now I know I'm not getting pinged from Gatekeepers and just go to 2. And not worry about Gatekeeper pings finishing us off. But really gotten out now. If they just had 1 less removal spell, I do think the Dryad plus Witness board there, right? Like, kill off the Chrysalis, just chump Drowner with a 0/1 for a turn. Take that. We had plans to stabilize from there. They had 1 less removal spell this game. If they flood, we block the 7/6 with a 6/6 and chump block the Chrysalis. Or Propagator Drone, make a chump blocker. That would just be double chump though. Chump with an Evolution Witness and chump with a 0/1 spawn. Fell off the top. Their own Oozewag to give Writhing Chrysalis Trample. That's lethal, because that's an 8-power Trampler. Alright. It happens. I literally have to chump like this. I have to double chump or I'm dead to just sack, take 4. What a draw. Because they even get to use the spawn mana adapting the Oozewag here. It's not even like they're sacking for nothing. Without a way to get rid of their trample, that's not enough. Yeah, Oozewag was actually perfect. There's no combination of these spells that does it. If they didn't have trample, we could make a whole ton of chompers for a long time, but I don't even think Glimpse can find something. That would be the one chance. But Glimpse is not going to kill a 6/6. Yeah, that's not it. Alright. That is 3-1 heading into game 5. Here we are on the draw again for game number 5.
Embrace death. Dominate the cycle.
Turn 1 Grist. Probably just a 1/2 Death Touch. We'll see. This hand's a keep because off of just the 2 mana, casts all these, and we have a 3rd mana. Play that as a tap land. I'm not going to run that out immediately though, because Rumble is all but guaranteed to hit a land as well. Rumble or Dryad here. Let's go Dryad, have access to red if they don't blow it up. They're on mono green for now. There's the red. And they do have the removal in the opener. It's a green-black duel that is not a red source. So Rumble into red mana, preferably. These are not red mana. It's a double red spell. Gotta take Disciple. The 20-turn clock from Grist continues. And here's 3/0/1s to give them mana next turn. Plus draw a land. They play a swamp, same colors over there. Propagator drone up our spawn. I think I'm actually playing Disciple as a tap land here. We're trying to get to 7, and Bridgeworks Battle seems like a more relevant spell in the near future as the only removal spell in the hand. Marionette Apprentice. Whenever any of their creatures die, we lose one and they gain one. It's really strong with spawn token. There's that Oozewag. And our 8 red sources are running for their life. Top deck a 7 drop, still no red for us. At least we haven't really hit more red spells. Witness back a Nightshade Dryad, witness back a Ral. We're not witnessing back a Ral without any red yet. Turn we play the Witness, we make our spawn a 2/3 as well. Mana off from playing Witness and using Bridgeworks Battle, which would be nice too. But I have to choose between the two. I think Witness Activate is better. Do it while they're tapped. Could also pick up a land there, that wouldn't be crazy. Like, I can play this untap, go untapped and then Altasaur, but if I pick up a land, I don't have to get rid of my removal to do that if we don't top deck a basic. I mean, all of our non-basics are also untapped, so if we don't top deck a land. Okay. Let's see the combat trick here. Six stats versus 6/6 stats. Yeah, this is fine. Pretty close to a 1-for-1. Considering the spawn token was just an added bonus. So, just Wither and Bloom for Witness. And Witness did also already draw us a card. This does mean no Altasaur this turn. Nightshade Dryad plus Bridgeworks Battle. Battle the Apprentice, but I can't battle the Oozewag now. Could also cycle a Tusker and play Dryad and get the Evo. I think it looks better to me here. Find the red source too. Okay, then Ampteraptor feels better than Dryad, holding off the Grist forever. Oozewag's now their only attacker. We hit the 2-drop. Let's get ready to rumble. Alright, well now we have double red. Man, Oozewag has just been kind of sick and sealed, hasn't it? Hello, Phoenix. Really good Altasaur turn. That is a stable board if I've ever seen one. definitely want to battle this apprentice sooner rather than later now, though. As the easiest way for them to chip away at our life total is through apprentice triggers now. We have the removal for Altasaur, which is pretty bad. Plus a counter on Oozewag. Oh, this is an absolute slam dunk block. You kill 2 of these. Yep, kill the spawn. Another amped raptor. Lelia not being able to attack into Grist is kind of rough, but I do not think there's any chance I can afford to keep that apprentice on their board. I just cannot let that stay. Do this and play an Oozewag on blocks. Sure. Gargantua. Eight mana. Play Propagator Drone ability and then double spell for double evolve. Five of the 7 cards left in my deck are castable off Raptor as well. It's one of them. I'm getting a little mill worried now, though. Because we're down to 6 cards after that mill 4. Adapt that, go to 10. Both my Wither and Bloom are in the bottom 6. Nightshade Dryad. Just a land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have exactly enough to play Lelia plus Ember Mage. Double evolve trigger. 4 blocks. 1, 2, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, block there, block there, block there, block there. They take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I believe this is lethal. If I miscount it, it's awful. One, 2, 3, 4, yeah. So they got a really good 1 green mana spell. Oh, close game. Down to 6 there. That apprentice was looking real scary before we cleared it out too. All right, that is going to be 4-1 now. Very positive record on the run. And we are getting almost all of our entry fee back, 7,200 gems and 16 packs. Be our first game actually casting a Spring Hardened Tuco. We are on the draw again. Be on the defensive here. But all 3 colors of mana in the opener, some good cheap plays, and it's looking nice. Double check how this works. Okay, so I get 1/1s off of just playing it by itself. Just turn 2 Amped Raptor from our opponent. They missed, luckily. They hit a Writhing Chrysalis, which will now be exiled forever. So, Nantuko by itself, not on anybody else, just makes 1/1s. Mind going Rumble here and waiting on Nantuko. There goes the rest of our Rumbles. That's very funny. The triple Rumble is gone now. They clumped up a little bit on us. Alright, Amped Raptor still gets to be a first striking little Goblin Piker here. Nightshade Dryad now from our opponent. There's our own Amped Raptor. Okay. Sure. We did just mill a bunch of our 2-drops, so I doubt that ours hits, but there's a chance. Never didn't have it. This also evolves our spawn. It's also an incredible target for Nantuko. That said, I do actually need to... Well, never mind. I guess I could Springheart Nantuko Amped Raptors. But then I would just exile every spell on my deck. Oh, it's when you cast it from your hand. If you cast it from your hand, it triggers. So we'd just be making 2/1s every land, which would be fine. Not insane. I mean, a 2/1 first strike for every single land drop. I don't hate it. Oh. Well, now I do. If I tried an Nantuko onto Raptor, they respond by sacking their spawns. They sack 2 for the mana and the 3rd for the ability and then blow up Raptor in response. Okay, so I don't need the green then. I was going to crack this for a green because I do need double green to bestow and activate this in the same turn. But if I'm not going to be doing it, then I'll hold on to the landscape to be able to sack for a landfall trigger the same turn I play it later, potentially. Oh, God. That spawn gain commander is very good. Anything good I can do here against it? Just Nantuko for a bunch of insects at this point. Because it's so much mana. It's so much mana to be making the 2/1s anyway. Yeah, I need to turtle up. This board is getting really out of hand, and this is a really good way to turtle up. Even if they immediately sack all their spawn to kill Nantuko, I get like 4 1/1s. I have Nantuko plus 3 1/1 insects. And then at this point, we just take this trade. Alright. They can kill a response to one of these cracks, so that I just get 1 more insect. Well, that's fine. Yep, still getting insect. We thin the deck out a lot here. Kept our face defended very well. I don't hate that. If they want to kill it immediately, sack everybody so they don't kill it until they untap, and then even then, this can come back from the grave later. I'm into it. Is Glimpse just better though? Glimpse could hit Wither and Bloom, Raptor, Brood Scale, Dryad. Glimpse might still just be better first. Two black spells, one red and two green. But I could hit off of it. Okay. They could respond by sacking their entire board to kill a 1/2, which is probably not that good for them. Trade 2 Eldrazi spawn for 1/2 Eldrazi spawn. Oh, right. It only requires one colorless, so yeah, sure. One spawn for one spawn is good. Okay. Cycle a Twisted Landscape off a Nightshade Dryad. Hunger Tide Rises. So just make a bunch of creatures, and then if they have a bomb rare creature, they can sack their whole board to get it. Right, if they have like a good 4-mana creature, they can sack 4 creatures to find it. So it depends how good their deck is, their seal pool is. Lelia's awesome here. I can cast Lelia and Phoenix if I give up on anything I hit off of Lelia for 2 extra points of damage. I think I'd rather be able to cast whatever we hit off Lelia, potentially. Like a Nightshade Dryad, it's a good one. I could Bestow. I think I want to do that in a second main phase. Guide of Souls. And they've got the 3 energy to make one of their creatures a flying threat now. A permanent flying counter onto it. Oh, Jesus, and then Hydra Trainer with that. They exert it, somebody gets a bajillion counters. A bajillion power, sorry. Yep. Jam for 3 there. So I have to hold up Phoenix on blocks, or I could randomly just die to Hydra Trainer's adaptability. Number of counters they have on board, right? So currently that'd be, after adapting it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. +8/+8 to the flying attacker. So we play Phoenix on blocks. One, two, three. Let's see, 1, 2, 3 from Trainer. If Trainer trades into Lelia, it's not the end of the world. It stops Trainer from killing me out of nowhere. And Wither and Bloom Lelia first, then Lelia attacks as a 5/5. No, they just have a Nightshade Dryad up anyway. So just don't do anything with Lelia no matter how I play it, I think. So... Can I just Phoenix on chump blocks here? So Hydra Trader's like an actual problem. God of Soul's giving a permanent flying counter is just so wild. I've got not infinite, but I've got a lot of evidence in Grave, so I'm just gonna take that. Ooh. Evo Witness with a Withering Bloom. Nantuko for sure, right? Let's see what their rare is for the Hunger Tide rises. That is not a good sign. Oh, Infernal Captor. Plus Guide of Souls, I'm just dead. That's so cheesy. I mean, what can I say? You got me. Can't even tap it, they just untap it. I mean, they did lose a bunch of counters. This might not be lethal. Oh no, it is, because the trainer gets flying as well, because Guide of Souls is ridiculous. Jeez. Well, I mean, I think that was our best bet. Was going for the Nantuko, kind of grind out there. We didn't have anything to deal with Hydra Trainer. Yeah. Frustrating, pretty cheesy way to end it, but it is what it is. They had the Captor to tutor out. We could only have the one flying blocker no matter how we played it. Whatever blocker it was, they could just steal off of that trigger. We had no way to kill Hydra Trainer. So we'd already played our Wither a long time ago. And didn't draw any other removal. Evolution Witness does not pick up removal. Yeah. Don't think there's a ton we could do there. I mean, I could have played more aggressively with Lelia, but then Lelia just trades into their Dryad. Right, like there was a time where I was thinking, well, maybe if I Lelia attack, I can at least trade into this Hydra Trainer, but like I can't, because they just had the Death Touching untapped blocker anyway. Dang. Yeah, it's a bummer. Infernal Captor off the tutor. The turn before we start going Nantuko Grindfest value. Because we can Nantuko up an Evo Witness and just like slowly bring our whole graveyard back to our hand. All of our permanents in graveyard, that is, on the defensive. Alright. This is what it is. And that is 4-2. Still a very positive record to start off the Modern Horizons Arena Directs. We're getting essentially our entire entry fee back, which I think is pretty respectable for the sealed pool. It's a solid one. It had a couple pretty good rares, the Lelia and the Nantuko. We really only got to cast Nantuko in like a single game though, but Lelia we did get to win like 2 different games with Lelia, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, I did not draw the rares like insanely often outside of that Lelia. And the rest of it is just some solid stuff. I think the best colors that we could have played, probably the best, just about the best build we could have played. The Wither and Bloom Splash didn't go super well. We had some mana issues, some slight mana issues in a couple games, so that splash was debatable, but I think splashing into more removal makes sense. We really did not have a good amount of interaction, so I don't hate the splash either. Yeah, I mean, maybe some other deck, like running red-black at the core just to run all of the removal in the world. Might have been able to push a little farther, but I like our green a lot here. Yeah, no, I think it's a pretty solid deck. I think it could have maybe gone the distance with just slightly better matchups, slightly better draws. But 4-2, again, still very respectable record for an event this competitive. On the plus side, for anybody who wants to watch more competitive Modern Horizons Sealed, that means we're going to be playing more Modern Horizons competitive Sealed. 4-2 is our initial record for the Modern Horizons Arena Direct. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send us some more on your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel, the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.